I think it's what Jimmy was listening to this weekend. Getting to the finals. A 70-point lead. Oh, man. Good job this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Answering, clapping back at people, huh?
It was nice, you know.
They give you guys one of those little plaques like they gave us that they give at dog shows. So they gave us one when Panorama won it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this little tiny thing.
So, it's a good size plaque.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just a regular thing.
Oh, you don't have it with you?
I think it's in the car.
Ah, nonsense. You should have that thing on a spinner. Be real country.
There you go.
No, you have 4 of them at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could probably make 20-inch wheels and put them on there and just roll up to city just with them just spinning.
Yeah.
Like, God, I need one for the spare, fellas. I need one for the spare.
Yeah, the school hangs them up in the lobby of the gym.
I thought you were gonna say they built your wrestling room out of the plaques of city.
That'd be great.
The walls, the cornerstone of each wall. That'd be great. Anyhow, well, good job. New state rankings are out. You see them?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought I don't know what happened at the southern section, so I didn't know what might have changed things. But I thought they were a lot of them were the same, and then I saw some shocking things that I was like, wow, I don't know why some people dropped out and some people jumped in. It was, kind of seemed all over the place, but...
Well, I know there was some high-ranked people, some noted people that didn't show up to their qualifier.
Really?
That was kind of a surprise. There was some surprises, though, coming in. Like, leaving the Southern Section tournament, there was some surprises for sure. We can get to that in a little bit. We're kind of killing time today, ladies and gentlemen, because some of our guys, for some reason, forget that we have the podcast at 8:30, and they're going to be late. Luckily, I got Jimmy, who's like clockwork. He knows we're doing it, so he always jumps on and does us a favor. Josh, I guess, is probably working because that's what he does all the time. And I think Ramirez is probably closing down his elote cart and it's taking a little bit longer than he thought it would. So, but they'll be on a little bit. So everybody had their qualifier. It appears that everybody's going the weights they were ranked at. I didn't see any differences. Did you?
No, not really.
Yeah. So that happened. The girls' Southern section happened. City section. Everybody's state qualifiers happened. Probably one of the bigger stories, I think, of the Southern section, and you could give me the big story on your end. There was a lot of storylines coming out of the Southern section. You had some people go down that were ranked pretty high. Some number ones that didn't get where they needed to get or where people thought they would be. The one that was most notable to me was Amara Devricks going down in the semis to the MLK girl. Yeah, she went down to the MLK girl. Yeah. And it was a match for sure, but
I was wondering why she dropped to 7th.
Yeah, she dropped the match. So, and then the MLK girl took second to guess who?
America
Lopez, number 1 sophomore. So she is really tough. Yeah, that's mostly like in the upper weights. I know like Heaven Jerez ranked number 1. She took 4th. She's been battling some stuff, but, still battled tough, had a tough third, fourth match. So that was tough. Let me see. Well, I'll just kind of start going through them. 101s in the finals. I'll go through the finals. I don't want to go through all the qualifiers, no disrespect, but we got a lot of things to get to today. Yeah. Sofia Martinez over Brianna Gonzalez from Arroyo. Martinez is from Ayala. I think she's a freshman too, the Arroyo girl. So 1-0. Good match. Yeah, it was a great match. Again, guy,
in there.
What's that?
The Royal girl, she's not in there at the rankings.
Yeah, I don't know how she's tough. She's tough. Again, I called it. I'll call it all year. Leah Gaitan over Cassidy Doe 9-2 in the finals. She just was on everybody. First match 57 seconds, second match 48 seconds, third match 49 seconds. What is that? 1, 2, 3. I lost count in the middle of it. Fourth match 101. Semifinal match against Norwalk 333, and then 9-2 in the finals versus Cassidy Doe. Doe had a pretty good tournament going up too. 150, 121, 459, 5-4 in the semis, and then went down 9-2. So Barreto ended.
Did she beat?
No, Doe lost to Gaitan. Yeah, and then Doe beat Barreto in OT 5-4. So
wow. That's
I think it went right out. Yeah, Danny Garcia handling business, son. 113 in the finals, 14 seconds into the semifinals against Rhea Prasad. A 15-0 tech fall, an 18-second pin before that, just hammering people. So don't get on your back with that girl. She'll hammer down on you. You'll be done. Let's see here.
What happened with Medina and Martinez? Because they moved in the rankings.
Yeah. Hang on a second. So Medina beat Martinez in the semis, 3-1. So that was a tough match. And then Martinez came back for third, beat Rhea Prasad for third and fourth. So by default.
Okay.
Yeah, so they went down there. Alisa Niguel beat Evan Jerez in the semis to make the finals against Monica Garcia. Monica Garcia is just the terror that she is. These brackets seem big. I mean, 40 girls. First pin, 234. Second one, 127. Third match was against Northview, 8-3. Then 5-12 a pin, and then 347. And then, like I said, Kubias made it through by pinning Jerez. She's really tough on top. I mean, that's what it is. She's really tough on top. She got it on top and just put a chicken wing on people. Samantha Barragon taking care of business. High scoring finals match here against Cameron Sedal. Sedal came to play again. 14-12.
Whoa.
Yeah. Barragon won. She had to take out Chapman in the semis 3-1. Barragan in the quarters 543. Round 3, 256. Round 2, 104. Had a bye first round. 126. Kelly Escamilla made the finals. Pin in 125. Pin in 27 seconds. Pin in 34 seconds. Pin in 141. Pin in 159 to make the finals over Samantha Snow of Los Al. On the other side of the bracket, you had Cindy Cepeda. That girl is jacked. Now Jernigan's in pretty good shape. Cindy Cepeda is jacked. By first round, 24-second pin, 106, 140. Then she ran into Jernigan in the semis. Jernigan was on a tear herself. 359, 247, 7-3, and then got pinned by Cepeda, 355. Cepeda's super tough on top. She beats Kelly Escamilla in the final 6-1. So, really tough match there. Jernigan wrestled back for third. Cheyenne Bowman beat Aaliyah Yates in the finals from Knight. Thank you. Next. Let's see here. Anya Drury. Another one had a tear. 45, 40, 52, 14, 103 against Corona Del Mar in the finals. Let's see here. Beaumont's Briciello. 146 in the finals, 10-0 in the semis, 435, 41, 48 seconds, tearing it up against Sierra Rivera. So
she beat Rivera?
Yeah, she beat Rivera in the finals by pin. Okay. Rivera's from Victor Valley.
Yeah.
150. This was actually I got to watch the semis on this one. Jasmine Segura from Tustin pulled off the upset against Camp. Camp was a number one, 8-6 in the semis. She met up with Melanie Bacher. Melanie Bacher ended up winning 10-4. And Camp went down in the third, fourth place match against the Eleanor Roosevelt girl, who's really tough on top.
I was going to say, yeah, because Camp's not in the rankings anymore.
Yeah, so she's out. 160s, you had the one, Katya Osteen, returning state champ. 52 seconds, 40 seconds, 125, 46, 45. And then she won in the finals over an injury default over Shamira Cooper from Cerritos. 353, 17, 242, 40 seconds. And then there was an incident, and Katya couldn't finish. So we wish her the best. Hope she's in good health. The Shadow Hills girl wrestled back for third place on that route. 170, you had America Lopez versus Jessica Gutierrez. Like I said, Gutierrez took out the undefeated Amara Devricks, who was just doing her thing as usual. 14 seconds, 26 seconds, 45 seconds, 51 seconds, and then fell to MLK in 5:51, which I believe she was winning that match anyways to begin with. So it was kind of one of those things. It was, I think Devricks was just letting it all fly out at that point. And Mara came back and wrestled for third, as we probably all would have expected. She's a freaking hammer. Let's see here. That's 170, 189. You had Etta Wanda going down against Hedricks from Beaumont. Beaumont with a fall, 436. One in the semis, 6-0. One in the quarters, 8-0. Pin in 50. Pin in 117 before that. So, and at heavyweight, Sierra Adams Gregory from Lakewood, formerly of Milliken, formerly of Lakewood. She ran through the tournament pretty good. 10-second pin, 11-second pin, 13-second pin, 46-second pin, 37-second pin, 14-second pin. So, if you don't know, she's pinning people. She pinned Sandemus in the finals in Sierra Boyd. Boyd is on a terror of her own. Let's see here. She was looking at 452, 10-1, 440, 23 seconds, and then she ran to Gregory. So, Camacho wrestled back for third there. So, that's how those went down. Really, those are the main things that stuck out to me. What about with you guys over at the LA City?
It was, pretty cut and dry. There was, besides some of the kids not being seated in the right spot, San Fernando was pretty strong. And in our city section, they dominated. They had 11 in the finals, and I think they qualified 13 to state, which is a lot.
That's a lot, but what did you guys get through?
I think we have 9 that qualified, with 8 in the finals and 1/3. We lost 3/3 that were pretty close and could have won another way maybe, and we didn't win them, but,
How do you have the lead you had with those numbers?
We won the boys, and then we lost the girls. It was kind of like the same thing. Like, we were so far ahead on the boys, and they were so far ahead on the girls. It really wasn't as intense as it normally is.
No. Yeah, usually a burner between you guys.
Yeah, and at the city section level, they're pretty dominant. They're girls that are, not their better girls, are a lot tougher than our girls that are not our better girls. Mm-hmm. So, they definitely dominated at the city section. So, it's a hard thing, but, you just got to try to win the next one, because that's the one that matters, right?
Yeah, people forget what happened in city real quick when you throw in look at that ring. The one you had, that's the one you've been chasing for a while, huh?
Yeah, that's the one everybody wants, right?
Got you all Schmiegel? My precious. No. But any matches stick out to you? Any questionable things, stuff like that? We're gonna get over some of the questionable stuff that happened at ours.
There was like the 116 match. There was a question about the time. They didn't run off the time, and then they gave a takedown at the last second, and it basically determined the match. So that was frustrating.
What do you mean they didn't run off the time? What happened there?
What happened was there was 28 seconds left in the match, and they blew the whistle, and we started our timer on the iPad, and then the clock never started, and we yelled, the clock, and then I jumped up out of my seat and was yelling and pointing at the clock. They didn't start the clock, and then the assistant referee said, "Yeah, run it off," and then they started the clock, but they were like 5-6 seconds behind the whole time, and we're yelling out the.
So they didn't stop the match. They didn't stop the match.
They never stopped the match, and we were up by 1 with 28 seconds left. So we clearly wanted the time to click off, and with 15 seconds left, they called us for stalling, and gave the girl a point, so tied it up, and then she took a shot with 5 seconds on the actual clock, not the real clock, and they gave her a takedown at the buzzer, and we were like, time was out, and we've been yelling since it started, that the time was off, and then he asked the other judge, and he said it was fine. And then I asked them if they would ask the table workers if they didn't start the clock on time, because they would know, but they refused to ask them. And then I asked the assistant referee, whose job is to watch the clock, if he noticed that I jumped up out of my seat and was screaming that the clock didn't start. And he said, no, I saw, and I told them to run it off, so they ran the time off the clock. And I said, how is that possible if they never stopped the match? You can't run off the clock while the clock is running.
No.
They didn't make any sense to me. And they just kind of weren't going to change their mind. And unfortunately, we would have went to overtime. And
we had a similar incident in Southern Section. So I'm in a match with somebody, and they're going to call the pin, and the buzzer goes off. And then the kid says time first, and then the buzzer goes off. And I look at the kid, and he's wearing AirPods.
No way. No.
He's wearing AirPods. And I said, ref, I think he called it early. And he goes, no. He said it was 0. I go, I'm not going to debate your call, but can you ask the table workers, because he's wearing earpods, and he was still wearing them when I pointed to him. Well, he's currently wearing earpods. Like, he didn't put them in when he sat down. He had the earpods in as he was calling time. And he was like, no. And I go, he's still wearing the earpods right now. Like, you can't tell me he heard the buzzer before he touched you, because he's wearing earpods. Yeah. And he refused, absolutely refused. Like, he just would not get on board. So
it's hard to, because you're like, I'm like, why can't they ask them? Like why can't we be like, let's find out for sure. Maybe the kid's gonna be like, no, nothing was different, but at least let's try to get what really happened.
Yeah. So
it goes both ways, though.
Okay, so Josh, you're on. So let's really get into the Southern Section stuff. All right.
Yeah. So real quick, before we even get to the Southern Section, Jimmy, your guys' masters with the same place, boys and girls? Or no?
Correct.
Okay. So I decided after girls' masters, when I was done, I went to boys' masters. We had 2-3 in the finals. Boys, so I figured I'd roll over there and just watch them. I understand we're completely volunteers. Kudos to Roosevelt. They have a bunch of kids helping out, volunteering to come do that. Boys Masters had 100% adults running the score clock, which can be good and can be bad. I will give you that. They're not as technologically advanced as probably kids are.
But they're less likely to get pulled
and referees. Hold on. They're really like, I don't know what the class of A, B, C, D, like A being the best. They were like the B and C referees were actually doing the time and the clock and the towels and all that good stuff. So you had kind of more responsible There was some better refs working the tables at Boys Masters than there were refs reffing at Girls Masters. I just wanted to put the side note out there real quick.
Hey, first of all, don't call it Masters.
Whatever. Yeah.
People get so there's certain people that get so pissed about that, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's the pissiest thing.
Here's my question. What qualifies you to go to state? Masters. Okay, thanks. End of story.
End of story. Thank you, next.
Right.
Thank you, next. That'll be our playout song.
Nolf, next topic.
Yeah.
So girls Masters. Where do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the
Dude, let's start with
pissed
the
off
first
parents?
No. Oh, yeah. Let's go there.
Let's start with pissed off parents.
Okay, let's start with that. Okay, first of all, CIF decides, section decides, we're going to add an extra 140 kids or whatever it was, like some ridiculous number, to the tournament and not account for the fact that there's no room for the size that you said you were going to have to begin with. Yeah. So you have a line of parents. Like, I'm not talking like 10 parents. I'm talking like
150 people standing out there. They stopped selling tickets.
While they're standing in line, they literally were letting parents come in to see their kid wrestle and then ushering them back out. Like, you had to know when your kid was going to wrestle because they had nothing. Dude, let me show you the picture I took. It was insane. Oh, not that.
I think I saw that picture of the line outside.
No. Oh, yeah, that's him. Let's see here. So it was insane. I was like, wow. Like, that was, if I was a parent, dude, I would be.
It looked very similar to Ramos's family in the caravan that was coming up.
That was my niece's quinceañera. Look at this thing, dude. Can you guys see that? That's the line after the tournament began. Tournament's already running.
Wow.
Okay? Like, that's legit. Okay? The inside on day one, and this was already when the tournament is already being cleared. It's being cleared so they can start the tournament. So the girls are already moving out. Look at the stands.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you couldn't warm up like without blowing a knee out. Like, it was impossible.
Yeah.
There was 7 mats, and for I don't know how many actual participants. I guess we could do the quick math, but
560 participants.
Yeah, 560 participants. That's ridiculous.
Okay. But hey, Roosevelt did an amazing job at getting us done early, except for that raffle. Killed it. But aside from that, they killed that tournament. They did a great job of just running it. They had Tom Zach's son running TMI, which I really wish they wouldn't do that, because I think when I talked to Miss Cataline, Coach Cataline, she said they specifically requested the lady who runs TMI, and she was supposed to be there, and they yanked her.
But she was at Boys Masters backing up track.
Backing up. Nice.
Backing up track.
Yeah. So thanks again, TMI. I know you're friends with them, Josh, but they screw girls tournaments over every time, dude. It never fails.
Here's the to TMI's defense. First of all, I think it should be on track, and TMI would probably like it if it was on track too. Just being out there. No, they would. I mean,
it's huge. Yeah,
they're not making much. They're not making much money at all. They're paying these people to go whatever.
Yeah,
but to figure out how to get those extra 7th and 8th placers in the bracket and not resort it, Blake had to write a little formula for the program, because it's Excel based, in order to get them all in there, so that when he did enter them, it didn't automatically resort them, because it started doing that, and it would resort. It would take all the seeds and leave them the same, but then resort the divisions. They were trying to keep them away, like 1 and 2. So I know there was some people a little bit upset that the same, Canyon Springs had to wrestle Paloma Valley at the same time or something, because of the way they were both 7th and 8th placers. Or I don't know, whatever. But
yeah,
track wouldn't have probably been able to do that, to allow those in like that.
Yeah, last minute. Yeah. So that's number one. That was terrible. It was a nightmare for parking. It was.
They did. Hold on. They did. My wife got a ticket last year. parking across the street. But this year they did work with the police department and cover all the no parking signs and allow people to park across the street. But it was still a, half a mile plus walk.
Yeah, it was bad.
Keep going.
And so that was terrible. The refereeing wasn't too bad. Meaning I didn't get yelled at. So I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't get warned ahead of time. I did like that they cleared me as a coach at the coaches meeting, so we were good there. So that stuff got out of the way.
I did like the fact that we had 2 referees during the blood rounds.
Yes.
Like that was a good idea. Like somebody in the meeting was arguing, yelling about it. I was in the back, but that was a good idea.
Yeah. So that was good. I heard a rumor. It was strictly a rumor, but this is just a rumor, just hearsay, okay, that they might be moving the girls with the boys next year. Did you hear that?
Same rumor. 3 days. 3 days master.
3 days. 2 weeks in a row, guys. LA City guys, how you feel about that? 3 days for your masters or your state qualifier or whatever you want to call it, and 3 days for your state tournament. So in 2 weeks, your kids miss 4 days of school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while the central section's getting smarter and moving it to Thursday to get an extra day of recovery, we decided to pile on another day in the southern section because, we want it to be convenient for somebody. I don't know who, but.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I heard. I'm like, wow. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that one.
And they want to go 2 days for CIF qualifier, whatever they're going to call it, the week before that. So you're going to go 2, 3, 3.
So another day of school missing? Wow.
Yeah.
So you get 2 weeks of school in a matter of 3 weeks. That's pretty good. That's LA City math, if you ask me. Not charter, though, Jimmy.
Not charter math.
Yeah.
Charter math.
Yeah, we can see you, brother. Let's see here.
We had a venue change as well. We went
What
to
happened
Mission College.
How was that? I saw they were doing buses and stuff there.
It was an interesting setup. I didn't think it was very. The problem with it is there wasn't enough seating, and I understand the logic was that we've never sold more tickets than we had seats for. But the problem was the solution to the limited seating was to force the kids to sit upstairs along the track that ran around the gym.
The indoor track? Yeah.
Yeah, so they forced the kids to sit up there. So all the wrestlers were up on the railing above, which it was hard to hear. They couldn't really hear the announcements very well up there. And the big problem that I kept getting complaints about was that the kids are inviting parents and friends to come watch them wrestle, and then they couldn't see them. They weren't allowed to go sit with them, mingle with them. They had to go outside to go talk to their family. And I was like, that's kind of rough that you can't. And you got hours of just sitting around doing nothing and waiting for your next match. And you can't hang out with your parents who came here to watch you.
Oh, we had to go outside just to get a breath of fresh air. Cause
yeah.
There was nothing, dude. There was nothing. It was crazy. People weren't leaving the stands because they knew they weren't going to get a seat back.
Oh, wow.
They knew it. They're like, I'm not going to get a seat. It's not going to happen. So I didn't see my parents, and we have great parents, dude. Their kids weren't there, or their kids were knocked out. They stayed the whole time. But I didn't see them the entire time. I didn't get a chance to go sit down because I was like, my Lord, I was running around all day talking nonsense. I don't know how I feel about the seating thing, though, for our section. Our seating thing was ridiculous. We had a girl who had a win over the third seed girl, and head-to-head, and they're like, decisions are final. We're not changing anything.
Yeah, there was 7 that I can think of and seeing on the forum or hearing that there was 7 or 8 head-to-heads that they just said, too bad we're not acknowledging it.
Wow.
And they had the brackets for the tournament.
So I know they spent 4 hours, whatever, plus doing it, but
boo-hoo. They give me that line every year, one of was took forever. Listen, okay? You guys know this crap every year, and we get the same excuse every time. Oh, it takes so long. Duh. Why don't you guys do it over a period of days then? Do a couple hours on Wednesday, a couple hours on Thursday, like whatever, the week before, whatever. So they get to Saturday. So a couple hours on Sunday, a couple hours on Monday, a couple hours on Tuesday. Boom. Publish on Tuesday night. You're good to go. You know,
it'd be interesting to see how many seeds didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at all, didn't qualify.
Yeah. Be curious.
I know there was quite a few, but and I don't know.
And guess what? And guess what? My girl who had to win over the 3 seed took third. First year wrestler. She just came through, beat the 3, 4, and 5 ranked girls to get to her third place. It's like, good job, kid. Good thing she's a first year wrestler who doesn't know anything about rankings. I love kids that are just naive. Let's see. So that was kind of annoying. You know, our decisions are final. Well, I shouldn't say that because that's what Bowers posted. Final decision. I was like, okay. Saw another thing too. Want to hear an interesting story? He's going to get mad. I know he is. But I was kind of like, why are you involved? So I'm watching, and I'm not calling any kids out. I'm not calling any coaches out. This is just something I observed as the matches were going on. So, criteria on a mat return. Okay.
Oh, I watched the same match. Was it Temecula Valley girl?
Okay, so what's this mean?
No,
okay.
I was there. I was standing mat side.
How was that mat return?
That was 5. I maybe would have called it 4, but it was 5.
Which one?
The second one for sure.
Okay.
The first one was maybe a 3 with a lift. You might have got a lift.
Yeah.
But
okay.
The second one was 5.
Yeah. Okay. High arc, Jimmy. That's what. And you being a Greco, Jimmy. You being a Greco guy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hey, let's get a hold of this girl. She needs to be on national team.
Yeah, she's be on national team right at the bat. Yeah, Greco right off the bat.
She's. They don't give you a lift point anymore, Josh. That was a long time ago.
Okay, sorry.
I'm a fossil. So she takes the elbow girl up, boom, puts her down, right? And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of rough. Whatever, no big deal.
No, wait, no, not whatever big deal. The coaches were going crazy. The
Elmo coaches were going nuts. Elmo coaches were going nuts. So I gotta look it up. But she was not returning her back.
The criteria is safely return to the mat. It has nothing to do with a knee first. It has nothing to do with anything. It's safely returning the wrestler to the mat.
So to me, what does that mean? Because I seen someone get called an illegal slam. They picked a kid up in a double, landed him on their butt really hard, but they popped right back up like they were fine. I'm like, they came down safe.
We're getting to the pop back up like they were fine section. Hold on, Jimmy.
Yeah. Right. So they wrestle. The coaches are going crazy. She 5s her this time. I'm talking hips, arc, dude, like USA Wrestling logo, like.
And these are bigger girls, like 40-ish pounds.
43, something like that. 150s. They're 50s. Just arch and boom, WWE style. Boom, they finally hit her, right? And I'm looking like, dude, if that's my kid, I'm not putting her out there again. You're out of your mind. You just dumped that girl twice. Oh, and did you see the cross faces?
Yeah.
Tell me where those cross faces came from.
Right field.
That girl was Yasiel Puig. Just boom.
And she lost 2 penalty points.
2. Okay. So I'm not sending my girl back out there, right?
This is probably where we agree to disagree, but go ahead, you tell your side.
Elmo's like, sit down, right? And I'm like, good job. Sit down. You know? And she sits down for a second. Guess who comes running in and gets involved? Josh?
Well, Bowers was standing right there next to her dad.
You can't do that. If she takes a knee, she's out of the tournament. So the elbow guys, and now Jimmy, let me ask you this. If this girl sat on an illegal slam, is she out of the tournament if she defaults out? Okay.
No, she only loses that match.
Okay.
No, we were talking about the girl that would take the win.
The victim.
Yeah. if the victim is hurt and can't continue, technically they just have the injury time to be able to continue. So now if they're saying they have a concussion, then they got to go concussion protocol. But if it's just an injury, they can go see the trainer and come back and wrestle. It's not. Yeah.
But according to the Elmo coach, who I talked to, says Bowers came up to him and told him, if you do that, your girl's out of the tournament. The referees listen to Bowers and tell him that's right. She's out of the tournament if you default out.
Okay.
What do you do?
Are you okay? Let me tell you my side of the story because I was standing there the whole match in awe of her back arch
technique.
Yeah. But so here's the thing: she slammed her. The coaches went crazy. The girl popped right back up, was hopping around, shaking it off a little bit. Okay, hopping up, blah blah blah. The coaches come over to the thing to argue with the ref about that. Like, you need to protect these girls, blah blah blah. And then the Temecula coach goes to the head table too. The girls are both like standing in the middle, like hopping around, ready to go. Then the Elmo coaches come back to the side. They bring the girl over and they push her down, saying, you need to get down and you're hurt. So to me, that's wrong. Like, that should be unsportsmanlike on the coach, whatever. Like,
hey,
it wasn't even
referees. If the referees don't do their job, it's your job as the coach to protect your athlete. That's what I would say.
If they're able to continue, you should continue wrestling.
Hey, if you're not going to protect your kid and she's gotten slammed twice and crossface from right field.
But the crossface came after. The crossface came at the last 2 seconds of the match. Jimmy, what do you think? What say you?
I mean, I think if they're not hurt, they should wrestle. But then again, I do understand what he's saying about, wanting your kid to wrestle. You don't want – it's a qualifier. You don't want to see them get knocked out of the tournament because someone drilled them on their head. But, I think, if they're fine, I mean, like, I don't think the ref should call that illegal if they clearly weren't hurt. Now, I think if you land on your shoulder or your head, I think they should call that illegal slam. But I thought it was, you had to, you're in charge of guiding them safely. And if they hit their head or their shoulder like really intensely, that would be an illegal slam.
No, there was nothing. There was nothing guided safely in the return. I will say that.
But that girl literally, she had to pull herself up from the core of the earth and like get back up to the mat, dude. That's how planted she was.
The other thing is that somebody a little more seasoned wouldn't have landed the same way she would. They would have landed kind of in a prone position, not a skydiving position.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us have fallen off a ladder at that height? I mean, come on, dude. Like, oh shit. But I've been at the city tournament where I saw a wrestler move a hand and get an illegal hold call and take a knee. So I know that stuff happens. But in a situation like this where somebody has literally like planted them, I'm like, and more than once, I'm not giving you that third chance, brother. I'm not going to risk my kid's safety on that note, but I was so surprised. I didn't know Bowers was that close with Temecula Valley. I did not know that, but I was like, dang, I guess no love for Elmo on that. Like, I don't know, maybe Bowers was misinformed and he was just looking out for the best interest of everybody involved, but it didn't seem that way because Bowers knows all the rules, or maybe he just studies transfer rules. I don't know. So that was an interesting match that I saw. So any other ones?
That girl was good. I haven't seen her wrestle much, but that Knight girl was the one that I think it might have been the next match or the one after. She took it to her. The girl that made the finals.
Hang on.
Is that the school Knight?
Knight? You're talking about Aaliyah Yates?
Yeah, that girl.
Yeah,
that girl can wrestle. Like, she's an athlete.
She's a judo girl. My understanding. That's what I had heard. Because she came. She was on one of the military dual teams for us, and not on my team, I don't think, but she was out there, and trying to look at. She wrestled Bowman the next round.
So let me ask you guys a question. We had a situation happen at our section also where a kid was getting cradled, right? And was on his back getting pinned and then tapped out and called.
God, don't
That's
even
a
get
pin.
me started on that
That's
guy.
a pin.
Stopped
Dude,
it.
That's a pin.
I'm telling you right now, I was in the city section, dude. I was done, dude. I was so over it. Like with those stupid tap outs. There's no rule in the rule book about tap outs. If you tap, you're done. Like you must be pinned.
The ref apparently said that if they tap, he has to stop it. I was like, I don't know, because some refs don't. Like
There is no rule in the rule book anywhere.
Period. Anywhere.
That's what the ref was saying.
I asked Perez this
It
when I was
caused
in
a
the city
big
section.
old uproar, and a lot of people were like up in arms about it. And the kid who was getting pinned ended up coming back and pinning the kid at the end. So
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Hold on. But the kid, once it got reversed, that kid tried tapping out, and they didn't acknowledge it.
Oh,
They didn't stop it for that kid.
You're out of your mind.
That's what made it more controversial. That's what made it more controversial was near the end, the kid that got cradled in the beginning got a cradle, was pinning that kid, and that kid was trying to tap out. The ref was on the other side. The assistant ref could see the tap, but he didn't say anything.
What schools?
Oh.
Nope. I'm not saying.
Come on.
Yeah, this is informative. What schools were involved?
It doesn't matter. We're talking about the tap out rule, not
So
the school.
it was Birmingham and San Fernando then. So, right?
one of those teams.
The other one was Monroe. So
No, we don't cradle, dude.
Oh, hey, speaking of tapping, I do watch a match. Quarters, maybe. I think it was the quarters. I'll even say the name. I don't care. Sudal. She had this girl in this funky position. She's funky anyway. Like she had some like over the leg under, like it was like a half spladle type thing, and this girl was like, it was tight, right?
Yeah.
The girl tapped, but as she tapped, like it was like smacking her face because she couldn't breathe. It was like tapping whatever, and it was like bam, 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 like 5-6 times. Well, the ref calls a pin. They get up, and Sudal just goes bam, like smacks the girl back.
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
Hey, almost got thrown out of the tournament for that.
Wow.
Because the ref didn't, the assistant ref that was sitting there at the table talked the other ref out of it because he said that girl hit her like 5 times in the face. And she just kind of like one little slap back, but
usually that's pretty blatant. Like they would.
They always see the reaction.
Second offender.
They
right?
always see the reaction. They don't see the offense. They see the reaction.
Yeah.
So,
but tapping is pinning as far as I'm concerned.
I agree 1,000%, 1,000%. So, yeah, so. Isn't it a little frustrating when you coach girls and you coach boys like Jimmy, and you, Josh, obviously coach both, but you get the boys brackets instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as the tournament's over.
Yeah.
Instantly. You know who you got. You know your road.
Yeah,
girls side
studying them and you don't know anything.
You go wait.
Well, I don't understand why we can't even have, like the North does it, and I think Central does it too. They have it's a formula, right? If you place this at this, you go here, and then you wrestle through it. And then they try to separate it a little bit at the boys' Southern Section Masters. You know, they try to keep the 1, 2, 3, and 4 away from each other, ranked in state-wise, not the 1, 2, 3, the highest 4 away from each other, because our goal as a section for boys and girls should be to send the most people that have the capability of placing, right?
Yeah.
That's our goals as sections.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We can't even figure out how to agree on rankings or seeding. So I don't know. Would we take the Southern section rankings or would we take the state rankings, which are completely different, as our section?
Yeah, I don't know. It's rough.
I feel like there's more information though in your section rankings.
There is a lot more in depth.
Yeah.
John does a great job.
Well, and I talked to John this weekend a lot. I'm sure you did too, but I don't care. Throw anybody under the bus because he gives them the input and they don't even listen to him. He was frustrated, like spending hours and hours on conference calls, and then
because you know why? I'm going to tell you
why. He gives them the data and the input, and they don't even listen to him. Like he's giving like other sections too, because
they're all self-serving. The whole reason I recommended John when people ask me was because John's so like middle of the road. He's just like, dude, I'm not going to put my kid above the overall good. He's going to do what's right. These guys that are on these committees and they say, oh, well, the system's going to change next year or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. It's the same guys voting on who's in and who's out, and it's the same people in there and people that I wouldn't trust. I'll tell you right now, people that I would trust. And then there's people in there too that didn't even want a girls team. And now they have a girls team and they don't know anything about the girls side of things, just that they're forced to have a girls team because they have so many girls and they don't really have the greater good in mind, period. And I mean, Jimmy, you've been in a seating meeting with me for our section. Like, I'll put the grid of the section above my team. When they were saying, oh, you can't absorb the qualifications, because LA City had put this really weird points that you needed to score, and they didn't give anybody time. They gave it to them the Wednesday before a seating meeting, and I knew we scored all the points, and I asked, hey, can they absorb them if they beat us? Yeah. No. Well, why is that? Nobody's going to show up then because there's no way that you can qualify for state at that point, But it's not that I want to be on that committee, but I'm just saying, like, you have a lot of people on that committee that are just scratching each other's back, in my opinion, and that's why they don't look at hard evidence. When John gives them hard evidence, they will put it aside if it goes against their plan.
Are those nominated positions? Negative.
Those people are appointed. And to be honest with you, you got to know somebody to get on. So
it's cronyism.
We were talking about the state committee.
Well, the state committee is even worse. Southern Section committee is just as bad. So, I mean, people who are getting recommended, Josh. How do they get recommended? Somebody on the board.
Somebody on the board has to recommend them, but then CIF has to approve it. But CIF isn't approving anybody. But 8 people showed up to the seating meeting. The boys have like 50 on their advisory.
Yeah, how many are invited?
What?
How many are invited?
To where? The boys or the girls?
Oh, to the girls.
None. You can't go.
That's close. Exactly. So I don't, it's the same people. Like I said, it's just those people that are in control. If people get really frustrated, they don't know where to direct it, and that's why they don't say anything. That's why these committee members don't want to get on the podcast. They don't want to just talk about it. Like, look, I even told them too, like, look, we're not going to have hard questions. If you just want to read out your rankings, maybe just say a little bit about why this person's here and move on. We won't even take questions. We just want to hear your rationale behind it. They don't want to say it. And those people even...
Was that you guys want to talk about the new rankings that came out?
Let's do it. May as well. Let's see. So... let's pull them up real quick. I just going to be a long podcast. I made sure to put on my adult diaper. Let's see here. Okay, so state ranking 101. Should we go through all of them or you just want to go top 4? What do you want to do, Jimmy?
Whatever. I mean, or spots where we thought things have changed.
Let me ask you guys, because you guys do it a little different and we don't have anybody else from other. What do you think is for the greater good of the sport to have, like Southern Section does, and let's just hypothetically qualify 8 to each from each regional into Masters? Or is the better good for the sport only qualify 3, maybe 4 from each regional, and then have a smaller tournament and get through it a lot quicker and there's less fluff? Because in my opinion, I'm going to say, for the most part, 4 through 8, if we did place them all the way, 4 through 8 or 5 for sure through 8 they're going to go 0-2, 1-2 at Masters. What do you think?
I wouldn't say that because my girls made it the second day and they didn't go 0-2. They
never know. I think it's.
But what they place? More wrestling. If you would have wrestled your regional, what would they have placed? That's my question.
Yeah, they probably would have placed higher.
Yeah, like the 7 and 8. The 7 and 8s all win. I don't think any 7 and 8 or 8 maybe won more than a match or two the whole time.
Yeah. No, we think we went 3-2 because I had 2 girls that went blood round and didn't
Like for the promotion of the sport, I think maybe you do get more fans. You get more people excited about, I made it to this point. Just like I agree with divisions and state. I think it promotes the growth of the sport. Hold on. But I think
Go back to Minnesota.
I think it promotes the growth of the sport. So you can go back to your school and say, we took 3rd in state, not 3rd in masters. You know, it's a big deal.
Yeah, just like they have 8-man football, so you can say you're a CIF champ. Get out of here, type of nonsense.
That's only LA.
Yeah. No. I think
I took 3rd in our master.
With 3 girls.
Yeah.
5.
Oh, would you pull out those 2? Yeah, Jasmine Heraldez put a singlet on.
Shh.
It's okay. They said she's overweight. They just called me. No, I think I'm with you, Josh. I mean, I want the quality to be higher. That's why I said I didn't like that state increased the number of girls that are going to state this year. I don't like it just because the baseline of girls wrestling last year, just you could see the jump in the baseline level. I feel like when you add those extra ones, that waters down that baseline, and now you're going to get some that maybe don't look as state worthy as you probably would have had.
I would rather see that though than when we saw the number 1 and 2 in the same section and the number 1 girl in the state didn't go.
Oh yeah, that was pretty rough.
Right? But
Yeah.
that's because we took less girls. Now the quality's higher, but you're in a situation where now maybe our section outgrew our 1 qualifier, but the truth was you had the number 1 girl in state didn't get to wrestle at all.
Well, let's be honest though. The number 3 in LA City.
Yeah, they're
The number 4 in San Diego.
They're probably going to maybe 1 or 2 of them do well, but for the most part they won't. I mean, but I'd rather give them the opportunity or have somebody be able to have a bad seed and then come back and wrestle and win and overcome that seed than being kicked out of the tournament because they didn't have all their seeding information or whatever the scenario is.
Yeah.
And Ramos, you're probably right about watering it down that baseline maybe this year. But if you kind of step back and look at the future, for our section, right now our thirds might be a little bit iffy, but you know what? It's going to help us, and I believe it's going to help our section grow a lot more.
I definitely see the advantage of it because when you had a Sarah Moore, not make it, that's one thing. But when you do have that extra qualifier, a girl qualifies for state, she does see a value in that, and she does suddenly carry herself differently, maybe approaches practice a little different the next year. Maybe she's a little bit more of a leader because she's a state qualifier and she feels like she has to live up to that. And I get that. I can't argue that.
And then that confidence knowing that she was 3rd is for your new girls or your other girls that didn't qualify. When she's in that practice room, she's going to pass it on to them too and see. So it's just going to help. I think like other sections, not just the LA, but all the other smaller ones, it's going to benefit them having that extra one. Maybe not this year, but maybe in 2 or 3 years, you're going to see a difference. That baseline is going to go back up again.
Yeah, that's how Ramirez is able to go from 2 girls to 5.
Well, no, but look, I know you guys rag on me on this, but my girl that took 3rd, she's in her 2nd year. She's a little scrapper.
Did you get those 3 in that you were talking about?
What's up?
Did you get 3 in?
I got 4 in.
4 in. Ooh.
I got 4 with 5 girls.
80%, son. Dang,
but listen, out of those 5 that I had, I took 6, but out of 5 that actually placed, 4 of them are seniors. So I'm only getting 1 back next year, and that's the girl who took 3rd place. So all of a sudden she's going to, on August, or this summer, she's going to become the focal point for the team, and I'm going to look for that leadership and this experience, whether she does bad or great or just breaks even or wins 1 match. I'm going to take that and just try to build on that, and there's a lot of teams out there like me, we don't have a lot of juggernauts like San Fernando and Birmingham and Walnut, and stuff like that. Esperanza. We don't have a lot of juggernauts like that, but it's going to help us little guys a little bit. Getting that third or that extra qualifier. Last podcast that I was on, we talked about, and remember I asked, can't the southern section, kind of like, just going back to Josh's point, can't they kind of like figure it out so that they don't have so many and they can streamline it a little bit better? I mean, we talked about that too, but sometimes the status quo is the status quo. Nobody wants to change, especially when it's the old guard still in control.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you guys make good points. I mean, I get it, and I'm somebody who will have an opinion, but still do whatever. I mean, you're going to do what you're told either way, right? What are you going to do? Boycott?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
So,
No.
so back to the rankings.
Yeah, it's the rankings.
All right.
All right. So,
Did anything change
Or
at
like-
101, or is it the same?
let's see here. I don't have a side by side, to be honest with you. Let's see. Cristel Rodriguez from Buchanan, Lizette Rodriguez from James Logan, Sophia Martinez, Michaela Guevara from Abilene, Haley Ward at number 5, Chelsea Mendoza at 6, Melissa Lee at 7, and Jacqueline Hernandez at 8.
I think that's the
Hernandez
same.
took. Yeah, that's the same, right?
Yeah.
I might be
Think
looking
so.
at the old page. Let me check the new one. Hang on a second. Let me check. Give me a second here. Let me bring up my screen.
That's what I have for the new one.
The new one? Okay. So, state coaches bands. I have a million people asking me questions about state. And I'm like, dude, it's at the boys now. It's totally different. It's not the same at all. They're like, what do you mean? Like, what if one of my coaches getting there on Wednesday and one of them's getting there on Thursday? I'm like, I'm sure they have something for that. I don't think it's like, you're all there at the same time. I don't think it's like that.
Not really. You only have the night before to pick up your credentials. Generally, at the boys, right, Jimmy?
But
I mean, there's only a set
They have
window.
They have a check-in at 6 o'clock on Thursday, according to the schedule.
Yeah, usually they're just kind of hanging out there in that same spot. I think you can check
Yeah,
in
because
later.
I checked out the website and
Well, like I guess the last couple of years they did it differently. Do you remember when they did it with the picture?
The picture ID.
Yeah, they used to do the picture on your lanyard
on your pass, yeah.
on boys.
Okay, so that's the new one. That's right. Jacqueline Hernandez. What did she take in her section? I thought they said she took 4th. Is that right?
CCS.
Yeah, from her Frontier, number 8. Did she take 4th in her section, Josh?
Oh, that's Central section.
Yeah, I think she did.
She took 4th, but she's still in there.
Well, she qualified, but
She did qualify,
Maybe.
but is that 4th there stronger than, say, the 101 in Southern?
I don't know. Is Mendoza on there?
Mendoza is on there, yes.
So you got Cristal first, Mendoza second.
No,
In that-
wrong Mendoza. This Mendoza's 6.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying at their section tournament.
section.
I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
What
the
about in
third
the
place girl's
finals?
not on here. Third place girl's not in here. I don't know. Thumbs up there. Anyhow, nothing really crazy there. Adriana Turner from Davis, Leah Gatlin from Ukaipa. I thought it was Gaitan. I don't know.
Gaitan, it is.
Gaitan. I was gonna say I'm a fan, so I've been watching. Viviana Garcia from San Fernando at 3, Cassidy Doe at 4, Justine Barreto at 5, Artemisa Batera from Albany at 6, Carmen Perez at 7, Genesis Corte at 8.
That's pretty low. Did she lose?
Dude,
Genesis.
no, there's no other.
No,
there's
she won it.
there.
Genesis won it.
Genesis won it.
I just
So
don't know why she's so low. She's a returning 4th placer in state.
did she lose to Viviana Garcia or something? Or
Uh,
A preseason. She was preseason. I think a freak show.
that
Yeah, I
shouldn't
don't
count.
Yeah, but that
Right.
was.
Yeah, but that's the only. I think that's it. But
Yeah, but did she beat Cassidy or Barreto?
Mm.
I know she's at 111 all year, so I doubt it.
yeah,
I don't know.
well, Viviana,
That's really-
Vivi Garcia had a win over Doak.
This year?
Yeah, at Carter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that probably moved Vivi up.
That probably moved Vivi up. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't on the list. She wasn't on the list. like I rallied for her on the committee thing up for this thing, and then she got bumped out, and I was like pissed, and then I started looking some stuff up, and then I heard when they posted them up, they sent an email. San Fernando sent an email out giving more info on her, and then they bumped her up, and then I confirmed it.
Okay.
All right. 111, Jennifer Soto from Orland. Danielle Garcia, second. Jennifer Soto's a freshman, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she's above Danielle Garcia, though. That's interesting. Danielle Garcia is a state placer
2 years ago.
2 years ago, but Jennifer Soto wasn't even in high school then. Danielle Garcia.
She hasn't lost to anybody in this weight class.
No, she hasn't. Soto has. That's interesting. Michaela Vega from Escalon. Alexis Medina from Northview at 4. Samantha Martinez at 5. Savannah Kiddu at 6. Aaliyah Rollins at 7. Jaden Wilson at 8. Still think Rollins is too low. My opinion.
I mean, if she keeps wrestling the way she's wrestling, it doesn't matter where they put her.
Yeah, she's lights out, and I don't see her.
In the finals, she looked unbelievable, like lightning fast this weekend.
Yeah, and I don't.
Jimmy, was it she wrestled Sophia or Samantha? I don't remember which one she wrestled.
Oh, she wrestled Samantha. That's
okay.
The one that lost to
behind her. Yeah,
it was a close match at Corona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Samantha wrestled great that match too.
She did.
Wrestled really good that match. Yeah, really good. But I just don't see. I don't see Rollins getting in the position. Like I said that Danielle Garcia likes. I haven't seen Soto wrestle, so I can't speak on that. But I would not be surprised to see her in the finals. To be quite honest with you. 116, Monica Garcia, Desiree Lopez from Folsom, Alicia Navarez from Arroyo. I like Alicia. She's cool people. Charlotte Kamujian from Monachi at 4. Rebecca Down and Norco at 5. Juliana Cubias from Elisa Niguel at 6. Selma Morales from San Fernando at 7. And Heaven Jerez from Westminster at 8.
So this changed a little bit, huh?
It did. Jerez went down to Elisa Niguel, and Monica Garcia has shown she is an animal, like we said, and she is number 1 now. Number 121, Ashley Venegas from Mount Whitney. I thought they said she took a loss.
Yeah, I thought she lost to Melanie.
Yeah.
In the section.
That seems interesting.
Let's ask Camino. Oh, hey, Dave. Oh, never mind. You're not here.
Oh, he's not here. Jeez. My Lord. So that's the information I got. So that's an interesting how she still maintained her 1 over the 2.
Who's 2?
Melanie Mendoza.
Oh.
But here's the thing though, and I have heard them at some points call this out. They don't consistently do this. If Ashley has multiple wins in the year over an opponent, and then that opponent gets the last one, they will still give her the higher one.
Yeah, if it's more than 1-1.
That's understandable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they'll do that. So that might be why. I'm just giving an explanation as to why that might happen. Then you have Adriana Lopez, Upper Lake, Madison Fonseca from Orland, Evelyn Calhoun from Atherton, Menlo Atherton, Katie Gomez at 6, Samantha Barragon at 7, Araya Barragon from Imperial at 8. Katie Gomez is still the crime of the century at this weight class.
I'm pretty sure we have a head-to-head against the Menlo Atherton girl.
Corona. We did at Corona, yeah. But that's fine.
Interesting. Barragons are cousins. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Both of them?
Yeah, the 7 and 8.
Oh, wow.
Or 6, whatever. 6 and 7, 7 and 8.
7, 8.
Oh, they spelled it wrong though.
Yeah.
Yeah, double R's. So yeah, there's that. 126, Cindy Zepeda from Palm Springs, Kelly Escamilla from Cal, Mia Olmos from Abraham Lincoln, Emily Say from Oak Ridge, Natalie Uribus from Albany, Naya Gaines from Bear Creek, Chantel Copel from Las Pumas, and Cindy Palayo from East Bakersfield. Josh, did you hear something about Uribus? Is that the one we heard about?
Yeah, where's she from?
Albany.
Natalia. What is this? Let me hear that one.
Yeah, I heard something, but now I'm drawing a blank. What?
Is it that she didn't make it?
Yeah, I thought she didn't get out of the section, but maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I'm trying to go back right now as we're speaking to try to find that message. I could have swore I read that yesterday. But you freaking pricks were blowing up my phone while I'm trying to drive home. I'm like, good Lord.
Cepeda jumped from 7 from the last ones to
Hey,
1.
you shut your mouth, son. You better apologize right now. That girl will get on top of you.
She's mean.
Dude, nobody rides Niall Jernigan, and that girl we could not get away from.
Yeah, if you choose down on her, you're a bad coach.
Duly noted.
I did not. It was on her own. Because she gets out on like everybody. Like she's honestly like 90% plus get out of the bottom girl. That girl was the 1%, dude. I'll tell you that right now.
You're asking to get turned if you choose down.
Trump would love Cindy Zepeda because she is the 1%, dude. I'm telling you right now. She's amazing on top. She is so strong. And the thing is, too, is with her, she doesn't even have to be clean with her technique. If that girl gets a hair of a freckle on your leg, she's not letting go of that leg. I'm telling you right now. I don't know how that girl makes weight because that girl is jacked. So,
Yeah, she's not like kind and nice with it either.
No, she rides that thing rough. So, yeah, I feel sorry for her children when she has them one day because that lady's got heavy hands. So, they don't worry about the chancla in that house. I'll tell you right now. Let's see here. So, Cindy Zepeda, Palm Springs 1, Mia Almost, Emily Say, Natalia Ribas, Naya Gaines from Bear Creek, Chantel Copel from Las Pumas, Cindy Plow, East Bakersfield. That's 126. Anybody there you guys interested in? Anything else? No? Okay, good. 131. Anybody want to guess who number 1 is?
Probably.
I didn't have one.
Mary Lopez.
And Bowman, number 1. Mary Lopez, number 2. Let's see here. What is this? Okay, there we go. Anna Smith from Menlo Atherton 3. Athena Wilden at 4. What did Wilden take at our section? Was she in the finals?
What school is she from?
Wilden is
Oak Hills.
Oak Hills.
I didn't think she was in the finals. Let me look.
I'm pretty sure she was.
I think she was. She took a loss.
Let me see. 131. Yeah, she lost to Yates, I think.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
They don't have Yates ranked, but they don't have Yates ranked.
Yates is 7th.
How is she below? I don't think they've wrestled that many times. They might have, but I don't think they've wrestled that many times. I think Yates should be up there. I'm a Yates fan. And ready? Actually, no, she lost to Bowman. So, yeah. So, Wilden lost to Bowman. Yates beat the Temecula girl 7-0.
Also, they didn't wrestle.
Yeah, they didn't wrestle. Well, understandable. Okay. Explain that one pretty quick. All right. 37s. Oh, sorry, did I finish that one up?
No.
A wild
Yeah, you did.
Phoenicia Pruitt, Michaela Contreras from El Camino, Aaliyah Yates, and Samantha Larios at number 8. That is a rough 8. 137, Anya Drury from Westminster, Dahlia Garibay from Freedom, Joanna Quee from Albany, Sophie Muse from CK McClatchy, Falia Martinez from Oakdale, Lauren McDonald from Menlo Atherton, Annie Hua from Fremont, Taya Basped from McNair, 137. Nothing there, guys, huh? Here we go. 43, Gianna Anaya, San Fernando 1, Francesca Laposti from Albany at 2, Lily Freitas, number 3. Moment of silence, fellas. That's crime. That's a shame. Juliana, because she's gonna bust that bracket wide open, and then you're gonna get to see her. Depending on where she sits, you'll see. I mean, and if depending on how many they seed, that could be really bad for the bracket because she is really good.
If they only do 2, that's going to be a crime.
Yeah, Juliana Ricardo from Beaumont. She won the South. Sierra Rivera from Victor Valley at 5. Marion Perez from Ridgeview at 6. Tiffany Calderon from Birmingham at 7. Macy Lockery from Del Oro at 8. Did you guys wrestle anybody above you, Jimmy?
No, we were at 50s all year. She just went down.
That's another thing too. Palm Springs went up when everybody went down. It's kind of crazy. Their team shifted up. So, 150. I met Elor from College Park at 1. Maddie Konopka. La Costa Canyon at 2. Alyssa Arana at 3. Michelle Commission from River City at 4. Beyonce Garcia from James Logan at 5. Melanie Bacher from Norte Vista at 6. Sharini Donis from South Bakersfield at 7. Hannah Riccoli from El Molino at 8.
So here's a question. So say somebody's ranked, right? And you had a head-to-head against somebody ranked and you jumped ahead of them. Now that person who you had the head-to-head against, which got you in that position, is now out. Do you stay in that position? Or do you drop as well?
Hang on, let me
Phrase that again. That's what happened here.
Phrase that again, please.
So, say somebody's ranked like 4th, and you beat them head to head, so you jump ahead of them, right? Head to head. But then the 4th ranked person is now no longer ranked because they lost a bunch. Now, do you stay in your same spot, or do you drop as well?
Well, I think people wrestle better at certain parts of the year, just because they dropped off. They could have an injury. They could have an illness. They could throw a horn. They could do a lot of things. I don't think it should necessarily hurt you if you beat them when they were ranked higher. You beat a higher ranked person.
Yeah, usually you stay, once you're in the rankings, you stay there, and it's a little harder to drop out.
It's very hard for them to say, like, oh, somebody else is wrestling somehow waters down your wrestling.
Well, I know in the boys' ranking sometimes, because it's happened to us before, where we beat someone and we jump ahead of them, and then the person we beat lost. They dropped, and then we dropped with them. And I was like, why did we drop when we did beat them? But I guess our only claim to fame was beating that one person. So
you didn't have the resume behind it.
You didn't beat anybody else. So why would we? So it's like sometimes I think it's weird that a head-to-head will jump like 3 people that you haven't wrestled who are also good. But you beat the right one, you go to the top.
Well, let me ask you.
They used to do that with college football, and they do that with like college basketball. The strength of schedule. You beat them. They're one of the top programs, and then they fall off, and then that waters down your ranking, and then you start dropping. Yeah. But they shouldn't do it, Jimmy. You should, if you got the win, you should stay there because you beat them, and when they were at that top or that ranking at that time, and you got no control what they do afterwards.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: why Ahmed at 1, but not Frida set higher than she is?
Or Katie.
Yeah, or Katie.
But Soto and Amit are number 1.
Yeah, why is that?
Because they're from the north. I don't know. Did I say that out loud?
I don't know. Are they from the north?
Yeah.
Oh.
Somewhere up there. They're north of us.
Yeah. That seems interesting to me. Why those two, but not those? Both undefeated. Both, I don't know. That seems very odd to me.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that there's more state placers. But in Soto's case, there are state placers that are ranked behind her.
And Soto's lost a non-state placer.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's very interesting. Again, not knocking a kid, just questioning the method. 160. Katya Osteen from Chaminade, Jersey Estrada from Birmingham, Yelena Macayud from Bella Vista, Ariana Pereira from Newark Memorial, Abby Erickson from Menlo Atherton, Tia Barfield from Bishop, Alex Garcia at 8.
You skipped 5?
Oh, what? Did I?
Yeah.
Shamira Cooper at 5.
Your band mate.
My trumpet player. We call her Tootie. So, yeah. She had an interesting tournament this weekend. So. Anyhow.
That could be an interesting final if the 1 and 2 meet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be. I know there was some pretty good action this weekend at that weight class. So, 170. Adelina Parra from San Fernando at 1. Liliana Vergara from Gregory at 2. Alia Abushi at 3. America Lopez from Valencia at 4. Bawan Duncan from Clovis at 5. Jessica Gutierrez, MLK at 6. Amara Devricks at 7. From Corona. And Sophie Rivera from Mayfair at 8.
Devricks dropped a lot just for taking that one loss, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy, let me ask you this. What's Jersey walking around at?
162, 163.
Was there consideration for her to go 70?
I would have liked her to do that, but if we weren't going to go 43 or 50, if we're going to go up, I'd rather have gone all the way up. But
yeah. I mean, I had this question last week, but I didn't want to ask it and have San Fernando think I'm trying to, help you position. Now that everybody's, set in stone, it's just a question.
I definitely have thought about it, but the problem.
I mean, do you think Lena Parra is a more difficult matchup over Katya? I don't even know if Lena and Katya have ever wrestled, to be honest, but I was just curious.
They've wrestled 100 times.
I mean, they grew up together. I know that. So
when they're kids, and they're always 1-point matches, so it's close.
Yeah, they're tight.
But I mean, I like the matchup better. It's just the fact that I don't think she feels comfortable giving up that much weight. And as it was, she was a little nervous about going 160 with everybody being so strong because her philosophy has always been to cut the weight and be bigger instead of, lift and get stronger. So this is the first time she's not actually cutting a ton of weight. And she, I think, thinks that she's going to do better with a healthy mind and a, harder work ethic. And I've seen a big difference in her already. I mean, when she's not cutting the weight, she's a lot happier. She's working a lot harder. So, at the end of the day, we want her to do the best she can. And if cutting weight is the thing that's stopping her, then forget it, especially if you're as good as she is.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I could see that concern because Katya is freaking strong.
Yeah, she's worried about it. And
my girl got to wrestle this weekend, and I was just like, my God. My girl is just like a big girl naturally. We don't lift weights. I think you can tell she just lifts her trumpet. But Katya looked like the Viking that you always think she is, and I was like, my Lord. So that was interesting for sure. So I was just curious. I just didn't know what.
I mentioned it to her. She did not like the idea. She's like, I'm not giving up that much weight. Those girls are huge.
Yeah.
But I was like, sometimes they're easier though,
Yeah, they move a little slower, and yeah. So 189, Floshay Akinola, Menlo Atherton, Madeline Navarro from. She's kind of been on the cusp for a couple years now, right?
Well, she got second last year.
Yeah, second last year. She ran to Diamond the year before that. I think she's, like I said, she's been coming for a while. Yeah. Madeline Navarro from El Camino, Joanna Hendricks from Beaumont, who is the real deal, I'll be honest with you. That girl's big and she's strong and she's really hard to move. Lauren Morales from Etowanda, also another tough one. Angela Buenostro from Monroe at 5. Melissa Moreno from Beckman at 6. Sienna Riley from San Dimas at 7. And Arceli Rendon from Eureka at 8. So, good job there.
Wait, no. Oh, there's 2 8s. Did you see that?
There's 2 8s? No, I only see 1 8.
Jasmine Clark's on there with an asterisk. 8 says 8 also.
Why did they put that? What does that even mean?
I don't know. Because I guess she lost to the Eureka girl at the section.
So instead of making a 9, you just have 2 8s?
That seems interesting.
But she is like, maybe she just had one bad match, though. I mean, there goes the question again. Like, does one head-to-head completely knock you out when you got 4th in state last year? She's real tough. I mean, I don't know if I would not seed her.
Yeah.
So, lost, but you could also ask yourself too. Who knows what was going on in the match? Was she winning and they got caught? Like, and if that situation happens, it's like she still lost. But do you knock her out of the seedings.
Yeah.
So honorable mention.
This is what it looks like.
That's the one weight class with honorable mention. Geez, that does not make you feel like maybe there's some, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know.
Bias?
I didn't want to say that. But okay, since you brought it up.
Now, they're not going to see me for a couple of years. But yeah.
So, interesting. I mean, that's the one. Okay. 235, Tavi Heidelberg from McClatchy. Christina Santoyo from Monroe at 2. Sierra Adams Gregory at 3. Tagovali Valafal from Pacheco. Liliana McCoy from Casa Grande. Sierra Boyd from San Dimas. And Maya Franco from Santa Ana at number 8. Anybody there? Had an interesting exchange with Sierra Gregory Adams' dad at the end of the tournament, at the end of a match, semifinal match yesterday. Interesting. I got love for Lakewood's program, I'll tell you that, but I got no love in return from that yesterday. It was interesting. Aside from that, though, everything looks pretty good on the up and up. You guys got anything?
No.
Alrighty. Anybody want to predict who wins the state title?
Team-wise?
Team?
Yeah.
How many did Corona qualify?
Give me a second. Not as many as you think. I think they only qualified like 4, maybe 5.
Okay, here I got it. Walnut qualified 5, Northview 4, Corona 4, San Dimas 3, Paloma Valley 2. I'm going to go out and say Birmingham has a good shot. Probably the best shot, depending unless San Fernando gets some really favorable draws.
Well, it looks like they got a bunch seeded, so it looks like
I know,
some
but
good spots.
Seeding and draws depends on
3
Yeah,
champs.
drawn in.
3 champs over what? 2 top 2 girls. Top. Yeah.
We also got Fridas too to worry about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's how I'm like, ooh, that's
we got
tough.
Katya to worry about also. So
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but you have like 1 through 6 to worry about at Katie's weight too.
Yeah.
He seems real concerned. He's like, really? Yeah,
Well,
I guess so.
Actually, I think Adriana Lopez is the best one at that weight. That's just my after seeing her wrestle for a bunch of years, I think she's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's at 3rd, but she's the one I would look out for. To give Katie a good match anyway.
Let's see here. Well, Josh, who do you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Birmingham. I don't know the northern section of teams and how many they're qualifying and all that very well, but I'm gonna think Birmingham probably has the horsepower with them high enough placers to walk away with it. A question for you though, like this is off the wall. How do you guys get like somebody got like 300 and something points at your girls section? Are you running like 64-man brackets with a bunch of buys and carry all those points up, or what? How do you get 300 something points?
They're wrestling every match twice, so they're scoring those twice. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know. A lot of pins, I guess. I don't know how it all works.
I know, but it's like mathematically impossible. You only get 2 to win, 2 to like 2.5 to advance, and then like you get an extra 2 bonus. Like unless you're running a 64-man bracket and you're getting that many bonus points, I mean you get 16 in the semis for like. Then mathematically it doesn't work out to get 300 points. I'm just curious.
I don't know how it worked either. I mean, I know that our boys scored less points than the girls, but we had 16-man bracket for the boys, and because we had qualified from all the different regions, but for the girls they weren't as big as the boys brackets.
Right.
So it's interesting. I don't know how the boys didn't score as much, but maybe they didn't pin as many times. but we did have a lot of pins in the both. So I don't know. I don't know how that all works out.
Yeah, the whole scoring thing is really weird because I saw that too.
Yeah.
You know, I broke 100 for the first time ever. You know, but also the other thing too is the MVP, man. That's what pissed me off, man, because all the girls that were in the finals had like 3 wins if they won their final, basically. Christina Santoya was the only one that wrestled 4 times in the tournament. She got 3 pins and then won a decision in the finals and couldn't win the MVP because they went off of pins and then they went off of time.
Yeah, time. Like Katie wanted to recount, but then I actually counted the minutes and she lost because she did have a 12-second pin, but she had one pin that took her a minute 59.
I think I saw the 12-second pin, and I think Alyssa or Arana too. She took a 12-second or 15-second, something like that pin.
They
as
were
well.
all like in the 20s, I think, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's where Christina's pins were at, and she was leading going into the finals, and then Alyssa won like in a minute and stuff like that, and I think that's what gave her the bump. But I was kind of upset because I was going, really, okay, fine, pins. If everybody has equal pins, the heavyweights we always get a bye. Christina's been getting buys in the first round, and then this year, we're like, oh shoot, she gets a match right off the bat. First day she wrestles twice.
I've never been a fan of the pin MVP thing because it's supposed to be outstanding wrestler. But I think if you tech somebody, that's more outstanding than getting a 12-second pin in a weak weight,
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. It's like it was just upsetting to me. I was quiet. I just like no matter what we do, I'm fighting as a little guy trying to make my name.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
How many finalists did you guys have, Jimmy?
8.
Or champs? Let's just say champs.
Champs. 4.
He said 9 because that's how good of a coach he is.
Let me see. We won 11, 21.
How many qualifiers?
9. And San Fernando has 13.
And how many points did you guys get?
I think we scored 219 points. No, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, something like 219.
Because the way we score it, if you would have gotten, you get 36 points to pin all the way through, right, for us. So you would have had 270 points if all 90 of your girls
Pinned all the way through. I just was curious how it ran, but I don't know. Who runs it? Track, TMI, or
no,
some tournament bracket software?
WrestlingTourney.com.
Oh, the same one that does Napa? It's awesome.
State of the art. All
Hey,
right,
we're gonna get together up there at State and try to do something, or
we can if you want. Going into the finals, maybe medal rounds.
Yeah,
because that'll be blood round day, anyways. So I'm down. Friday night. On one condition, you guys all have a couple in you before we get on.
Well,
loosen you up a little bit.
That'll be hard for me. I got
a coach.
Yeah, I don't drink either. Never have.
Oh, so I looked it up. We had 237 points.
Pretty close to that 270 max you said was possible.
No, but they had 300.
Yeah,
that's right.
So they had a lot of points. And Moreau had 102 points.
Back to 100. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Still building.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked. I mean, our boys had 279 points, something like that.
All right.
And second was
Alrighty.
190.
And you guys got anything else for us? That's probably our longest podcast ever.
All right.
Where's the coach's social on on Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm driving back that day. So, but
Marriott? That's what
know.
I heard.
Is that where you're staying?
No, I'm at the Hampton Inn on the east side.
The east side.
He likes to get a deal.
He's Bakersfield.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll text. Everybody else good? All
Yeah,
right.
good luck to everybody. Good job, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I texted Jimmy earlier today. It's like, congratulations on the boys. Good luck. All that stuff. Josh, good luck. Well, Cerritos, good luck. Everybody else has been on the podcast. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had some really cool people come up and I had a banner made for the podcast, and I put it up on our tent that we weren't at the whole time. But yeah, people came up and were like, yeah, I like the podcast. Like, thanks for the love. Talked to Guy Tan's dad and heard. They were super, super cool. So, yeah, they were awesome. They were happy that we showed them love.
Yeah,
but
Berrigan's dad talked to me about it too. He drives a lot, and he said it's awesome. He just puts it on and listens.
Nice. All right, just gonna motivate me to make sure I keep these up to date on the
iTunes.
Google and iTunes. Yeah. So, but anyhow, all right, everybody, that's it for today. Good luck, everybody, this weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon. Later, fellas.
See ya.